Hey guys, Market Sniper here on precious metals. Yes, so this is Palladium. I'm going to do quick fire run through a couple of the precious metals. By the way, before I go any further, the Scandinavian Capital Markets link below will get you access to not only trading gold against the dollar, but also against the euro, which is currently famously weak against the dollar. And of course, we're bullish gold. We're bullish the whole precious metals complex at the moment. We've got a variety of structures. We've had our first leg bull and then a pause, and we are entering the second upside leg. And these are often, if you know your Elliott wave theories, the third advance is often the best and the biggest. So I'm making a repeat extreme bull case for precious metals. This was a tiny little trade that did exceedingly well. We were able to get pretty big on Palladium, and that took us up literally during the course of the day. I'm on a 4-hourly, barely 2 days, and a really nice move up. We are also in a much bigger macro upside overperformance state of Palladium, and in fact it's popped to the upside of its overperformance bands, and we stay out there. You'll find out more about all of these details on a program. If you book for a call down below, you can find out how we're doing it. So we've been getting the community net long on precious metals and certain precious metal miners. I'll show you one that's broken nicely as well. And is marching on forward very particularly well. There's more and you can learn, but this one's already broken. That doesn't mean any of this constitutes recommendations. This is us talking about our trading and what our premium community is up to. Okay, so that was up move in Palladium. This is just on a 4-hourly, by the way. I will show you, let's take a picture of it, why not? Take a picture. I will show you where it's come from on the bigger time frame. I was on the Dollar Vigilante, and I gave us a talk around there, and I highlighted Palladium. And in fact, Palladium's in a state of disorderly increase. Now, the control structures, as you know them, do not tend to like this at all. And if we have a look at the bigger time frames as we march on up, you will see that that is how it looks on the daily. And in fact, the chart that I provided from here shows that you could have had Palladium in 16 at $447. Now you're talking about something that is traded as high at its highest point of 2,845 in the beginning of this year. So yes, it's 20, but it is the beginning of this year. So 4 years, and you've done that kind of move. This is kind of crypto-esque. And extremely powerful. We actually got in on this structure as well early on, and the community was taking this trade, and you might have seen it. We spoke about it after. You would have missed this trade. There's a lot you could be missing at the moment, and as I say, many people don't want to invest to learn and be part of a learning environment where you then practically implement that learning, but they don't know what they're leaving on the table in earnings. Sometimes you've got to invest to actually get a return. And this has been an incredible overperformance, and it's still in an overperformance state. So just to show you, that is a band. You'd learn how we do that later. And you're in a major overperformance state. We're going to have possible, this is a real blow-off secondary wind-up. That was our wind-up that I've just shown you there, with a real push-up move. This is a runaway out-of-control market. I've spoken to you about. They've reverted away from diesel, so platinum was the favored metal for diesel catalytic converters. Palladium, which is lighter and suits the petrol better, is the key one. And most hybrids are a combination of petrol and battery, and that's where we're going, as well as petrol cars. So we're swinging away from diesel. So there's an undersupply. You've got South Africa with their power problems being probably the largest contributor, and the only other contributor is Russia to a small degree. So the platinum complex is deeply rare. Unlike gold, which is found, it's rare gold, but not nearly as rare as the platinum complex, but it's found in Australia, China, America, Canada, the platinum complex is very tight to Southern Africa and Russia, and predominantly Southern Africa, which has all sorts of electrical problems in terms of grid downs and downtime, which is affecting commerce and business, as well as labor issues, etc. So more problems than you can shake a stick at. Anyway, let's move off Palladium, because many of you, that's just like an exotic, it's kind of like a rare earth mineral that you don't really know. By the way, tradable, It is tradable. CMC will do it, and I think in the US, if you're US bound, you can trade it on Interactive Brokers. So totally tradable and absolutely powerful bull market. Look, it's in a blow-off state. You've got to know what you're doing. You're chasing near the top of a blow-off state, you could get a nasty correction, but then Tesla, you know, it's only going up, and it needs all sorts of metals just like this. Anyway, let's talk about the gold and silver market. So you may or may not recall that actually we reverted strongly bull, and we unfortunately during the bearish period we were accumulating gold cheaply, but we were trading it even short for a while. So we're not a perpetual bull gold. There's so many people that are perpetual bull golds. If we say we bullish gold, it's because we've assessed it technically to be the case, and we called the 1350 the key critical area when all things came due. That 1350 was an absolute key moment for gold, and now gold is in a variety of structures, all of which bullish. And most importantly that I tell you about this, good people, is that you were in a descending triangle at these tops higher. This was a horrific sell-off. And this began the sell-off in gold during this bearish period. What color are we? Let's go back to our transgender pink. You wouldn't know me any other way. Or purple, what do you say? That over there. So that was your descending triangle structure. This was a key level, 1575. 1575 for gold, key level. And it let go of that, and that was it, folks. You're talking about 2013, not to be seen again for 7 years. Remember, 7 years in the desert before you get your 7 years feast? Well, in the Bible, it's the other way around. First you feast and only the wise store for the fame. Well, you could argue that was your feast period. But you certainly got your 7 years in the desert phase before you return to this 1575 level. You see that in the blue over there that I'm highlighting. In the blue, 1575, that is that level there, right there. So you kind of had your double shoulder leftsies, you had your big head, and you had kind of your double shoulder righties, and then you broke. You also had that structure squeeze that got us in earlier, but that you'll learn more about if you want to really max out your trading. So you should be net bias long. You take no shorts, so you bull or square. Investment wise, you should be 100% bull now in precious metals from the takeout of that point, beautiful people, 1350. And now we're about ready to reassert after a pause period. As you should by now realize, you do not only go up in a straight line. There are pause periods for a variety of reasons, and in fact this it should be drawn as well. I should have drawn that in this before I talk about pause periods. It should be drawn roughly there. In fact, I'll do it with the trading view rather. You should be very close now to the target for the inverted head and shoulders. So we'll just quickly flip that over. So this is a traditional technical analysis pattern that most of you will know about. I think most people utilize it incorrectly. You should only have, in our opinion, HVF method, the horizontal neckline. So this is where you may take your next rest, and this is where I think you're hammering back up. This is going to be a very interesting period because the gold will be back in this zone that it didn't spend too much time in last time. In fact, you popped up during 11 and you were done by 13, and a lot of it was thrashing around rather violently, and you got your blow off high really early. So this is entering into Everest point of no return zones. You can see why we chose the 1575, by the way. So resistance over here, broken with momentum there, support just run, support just run, support just run, support just run, logical round number, broken with momentum there. So that was your thrashy experience up there. That is your Everest peak of all-time high, and there is the HVF flag. The nation of Hunt Volatility Funnel was the first to claim the tops of that. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, never mind. So that all aside, we pop into where we are today and talk about what's happening. And yes, even the ugliest of structures that we were discussing, the bull bias always sees you right when you know your key macro big time frames and your rules for your bull biases. So without giving too much away on that draw, you can see that we're actually in what we consider, whoopsie, get out of that, right click, you're in a an ugly structure for a bullish upside. So if I draw in here, and sure as hell you're breaking and running for it like no tomorrow, and you have targets to the upside. Gold is kind of like your god market of the precious metals, being the highest market cap of them all. It's not the highest value. Palladium is clearly winning that race, but it's a very thin market. It's not got futures on it on any great scale. That's the market is as easy to manipulate. So gold is the biggest. Silver and then platinum is high value. Silver's probably next in terms of overall size, but significantly smaller than the gold market. So the rest of the complex is quite small. Anyway, so this is in a breakout. So your gold is in a breakout. It's in a macro bull. It's had a rest and it's reasserting part two. It's in a wind-up structure where it's going higher on gold. You should also have your favorite equities long. We know what we like in our community. I will show you one that's already triggered that you will miss. You will have effectively missed by now. But these are the kind of things you could capture if you're in with us. As I say, book a call below to see if it's worth it. It's a great shame for want of a certain level of investment not to be taking out the maximum. This is a key high probability situation, in my opinion. This is always entertainment, education only. You must always make your own decisions when it comes to investment. This is just me talking about how I'm feeling and how I'm expressing myself to my community, and they were acting as they see fit. So this is non-advisory as always. So gold is like that. How about silver? Let's pop over to silver, the little sister, and talk about what's going on in silver. Quickly there. XAG indeed. So XAG USD is probably the strongest one. I think silver is going to be, this time silver is going to be kicking bigger than gold, and I think the gold silver ratio will reflect that. So you might notice we're at the business end of something very, very interesting in terms of a volatility squeeze after resting in what I'd probably describe as falling wedges. This is the trade there that you should keep an eye out on. So, falling wedges. We're the only people that split our wedges, and you'll learn why. And you kind of had a channel here as well. You might have had, well, actually it's more broadening. A broadening structure. You'll learn also about broadening structures with us and what they mean, but that's one for another day. And again, it's in our course material and how we trade them. Anyway, that breakout over there is bullish, and this is surely showing a lot of impulsive energy. You can also look at your volume and other things. We do that in the premium community. You can find out why and what that gives you extra. But overall, without giving you rhyme and verse, this is a bullish construct. This is on the daily chart. Now, my impression and overall view of this is that once you top out at some point, I would expect just before running this high at 18.8 that we did on the bounce out of this. By the way, we traded this falling wedge. We traded this falling wedge bounce here. Long. We were long earlier, right? I actually need to go back and show you where that is. And I would be looking to enter in and around the 18s on any pullback in time over here for an impulsive move to come. So there might be a calming period first. If you chase in here, you could eat red straight away on a pullback of some degree. I don't think it will be highly impulsive. Note that neither of these, this was a big falling wedge. So while you might argue that's impulsive, there was pushbacks the whole way along, and that's what gave you the falling wedge. But you did have a long period of coming off. You don't want to sit from September to December. Well, that's the first impulse. It's always the biggest. The second one was shorter. You can see the blow off strength in here, and you can see the broadening of here into this. So you got your lows here. So this is very, very strong bullish structure, and we are locking and loading and looking to get in on this. So that is a little bit on the current structure of silver. Let's go have a look at it on a bigger time frame. Normally I start on the bigger time frame. It was a bit of a bad to jump straight in there. That's kind of where it landed. So this is how I want to explain this baby to you now. So there was your structural point roughly at the $27 level. This gave you a very heavy across the top leaning descending triangle. So this is a key level. Now you came very close to making a new low along here. but didn't. So this is very much like a W bottom. In some ways, this is a bit, for those of you that are into crypto, a bit like your alts mark versus your, it's funny to be saying gold is mimicking crypto. I mean, the one's the grandfather and the other's the baby and the child, but nonetheless, there are commonalities. You had a bit of a descending structure there as well. That's interesting. Why? Because you're at that level again. You see all these alerts. Now, this was a key point, particularly at this level there, when you squeezed up and went there. I traded that long. That was an absolute moonshoot. So here's trades historically that we've taken on silver. That was macro HVF on the gold market, less tidy on the silver, but silver was always going to be the higher beta. We traded that long. It was beautiful. We traded short in this structure, there and there. And since then, you're now in a W bottom. You're now in a W bottom. I would argue there's possibility that you have, through that funnel and through there, a bit of a neckline for what is a long-term bottoming period. In short, my expectation is that little structure I was illustrating to you in silver right there, that little structure is pure existence, is to trigger this neckline of this double bottom there and there. By the way, this is marginally lower, but that's perfect. That's exactly how you want it. We even looked at that squeeze and we noticed how weak it was and that you were fizzling out. That was the big delay. 2016 really got gold going and strong, but silver fizzled all the way back down in 19. This is how the gold-silver ratio continued to extend to ever higher points. There is catch-up time, and this is flat and low. When this thing goes in terms of percentage, you were talking about 18 to virtually $50 there. And that was not a long time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months. And you're done in an absolute moonshoot, and good leverage is available on silver. So this element where we're at now, my pitch to you is that 20 line will, if not surpassed, will be just run, and then there'll be a pullback maybe like that. But there is a real possibility you'll go straight into overperformance and just break. So you will have a W bottom. And guys, my bull alerts on gold have not been inaccurate. We've been accurate each time, and I've told all the guys that were bulls during this period, sorry, technically it ain't ready. Our track record on precious metals is immaculate. Sorry, it's a bear. Throughout that period, including through the bottoming, we're not ready yet. There's signs of recovery, but we're not ready yet. We're not calling full bull. We called full bull publicly on Freeview at the 1350 takeout on gold, and we said silver you want to now buy us long from this point on, and that is the moves you've been taking. Precious metals have been very profitable trading for us. I'm also known for being the guy calling the new highs on gold on a macro HVF here, which was very similar to what you're seeing in silver, and saying we will take out the $1,000 mark. People thought we were crazy then. I can show you all the comments on trade to win and everything, and that will go potentially even to 1300. We then overperformed beyond our expectations, and that led to your 7-year bitter harvest of detox that is now coming to an end, and the central bankers are going to help you moon your metals. So this is your silver. I promised you one equity, so I'll do that as well. As I say to you, jump on Scandinavian Capital Markets, European based. You can get much higher leverage, so you're not constrained. It's just outside the EU, Sweden. It's just outside. They opted out of the leverage-based rules, so you actually get the benefits of high leverage, providing you know how to use it carefully, guys. Remember, leverage can kill if you don't use it judiciously. Got to choose your moments for when you go long. If you are not an experienced trader, you should not be using any form of leverage at all. You should get financial advice, all the usual blah-de-blahs. Okay, so you know that by now. Let's take those earning narratives off. So, PAAS, Pan American Silver Corporation. So we like this fella, and it was nice and strong out of the China overlord, the Shanghai Accord. It didn't pull near as low. It has shown relative strength to silver. So the best miners are ones that are showing relative strength relative to the metals. So what do you need to do? You need to be smart. So if we go silver on top of this, XAG take the best of the miners that have shown strength already. Some people will say marginal miners will do better, but they can sometimes be a bit over leveraged. So if you have a look at that, you can see you dipped really low on the, let's get it all to there and reframe it. Its relative strength has been pretty strong. Let's get it since the bear market. There you go. So you can see if you look at from these lows, in fact, let's get out of the monthlies because it's a bit deceiving. We need to see more recent history. Since 16, PAA has overperformed and came back down significantly less. Okay, then you look at the structure that we're currently in over here, and thank all the time for the beautiful HVF method that gives us the best trades. Had a great trading day. I think everything was strongly up, from the Turkish lira, from gold, from silver. We called a basing on Bitcoin and went heavily long there. They all just were bleeding profits. That's where you are right now. Breakout point. You could have been long here at the 23s. You've got a target to the upside that'll take you well through the 20, deep into the 25s, approaching 26s, and I think there's more to come. By the way, earnings events. There was an earning event that ties into this HVF method, the forensic detective. We were the first always to describe it as the forensic detective, our method that often finds good results before the results come. So results are due on this company. They may already be out today. I don't know. I haven't checked the web right now, or they're due at the end of a trade today. So go and check that out. You can put those news events back on. You just go to chart properties, click events, economic events. So great breakout there. So we've given you a silver miner that has broken out, that has shown relative strength recently on the weekly chart. We've shown you its structure. You're getting confirmation out of miners. You're getting confirmation setups in silver as well. Silver may still have a little bit of a drift back first before it properly runs. We've shown you gold. Gold is already in what we call an ugly but always resolving to the bullish side when you're in a macro bull type structure with an upside hunt volatility funnel method. We've also shown you Palladium. Oh, what a beauty. We gave that to those that attended the workshop, paid and attended the workshop. They joined in with our premium guys at the Dollar Vigilante and said, guys, it's winding up again, be long. You took it, you made money. If you didn't, you didn't. If you don't have confidence in the system, you're not invested in it, you haven't seen it work, you haven't learned, then you do it. But remember, all your decisions are your own. Okay, but right now, as sure as my name is Francis Hunt and I am the market sniper, and with the always held notion that you can always be wrong, I am exceedingly bullish precious metals for the months ahead. Exceedingly bullish precious metals for the months ahead. I expect, as a result of the close down in China, the coronavirus, everyone going to report lower numbers, everything time to print. Our federal friends saving the universe in their Batman suits are going to pop out and save you by taxing you, by devaluing the purchasing power of your currency and creating a whole bunch more of it and putting you on an ever slippery pole of currency devaluation. And as a result, this will put a booster rocket on all these already technically strong precious metals that will see outlier performance. That is my assessment. It is my primary scenario cost. That is a unique phrase utilized by us here. In other words, we do have others. It's the one I'm discussing with you on Freeview and YouTube. If you value what we do, we say share and like it. We appreciate that. Recognize there are imposters out there that try to do what we do. They do so badly. Stay true to those that are straight up with you, and get your account below. Buy your Bullion Vault link. You can invest in there. They give me small amount of heads up. They're very good value. They can vault in Singapore, my personal choice for silver and gold and platinum. You can trade on Scandinavian Capital Markets, the likes of the lira, gold against the euro, as well as the dollar, silver as well. Open an account there. I do get recognized a small amount for that as well. You will have a Eurozone and high access to good leverage. Be judicious. Always phase your way in. You always have more time. but this is absolutely a non-advisory service. Thank you for watching. Share and like. I appreciate you all, and book in for a call if you want to become part of our awesome community. Bye for